You know, when I think of 9/11, I think back to what I was doing on that day. It was election day, and September 11th, and it was a primary, and we were engaged in a 32 BJ for the first time was engaged in a big way, and we had 5,000 members out on the street, and 3 of the officers and I, with our head of security who was driving, were in Queens, stopping at all the sites to check on our membership. And we were at the Queens office, dispatch office, when we saw on TV that a plane had hit the towers, and we thought it was a little plane and it wasn't a big deal. And it was on a big screen TV, and we just left and went on to the next place. And by the time we got to the next place, we knew it was an attack on the towers, and decided that we had to get back into the city. And we immediately left, and our driver was a ex-NYPD guy and had his badge with him. And so we started heading back in, and the traffic was enormous, obviously. And now they were starting to talk about the towers being under attack, both towers being hit. You know, there were 4 of us in a van with our security officer with a badge driving. So we were able to get back, coming across the bridge, the 59th Street Bridge. And as we were coming across the bridge, there was nobody on our side coming into the city, and everybody was running on the other side. It looked like a horror movie where, you know, Godzilla is chasing everyone, and they were all running across the bridge. And as we came in, the first tower came down, and we could see from the bridge the smoke rising and the tower coming down. You couldn't see the tower anymore. But it was a horrible feeling to see that happening. And our goal was to get back here to the building, and we were in constant touch with the building until the cell phone network went down. And you know, here people had seen the planes hit the towers. They had seen people fall. They were, you know, they didn't quite know what to do. Should they keep the building open? Should they bring people in? But you know, we felt a strong sense that we needed to be back here, and we decided to. We have a clinic here in the building at that time. We decided to see if we could help people as they were coming up the street. Everybody was coming this way. We were coming this way. We got back to the building, and you know, our immediate thought was to make sure everybody here was okay, see if we could get people out of the city and to their homes, and helped everybody leave and take off, although it was very difficult to know what to do. But you know, once that happened, nobody really knew what was going on. The towers were down. People were in panic. The city was, nobody knew where to go. I decided I had to get back to my apartment and get some clothes. And I lived down right next to the Trade Center. And I went down in the seaport, and my building was shut down. There was dust everywhere. There were people running up the street completely covered in gray dust. And of course, no lights, no electricity, no water. So I grabbed some clothes, came back up here, and found a hotel to stay in for the night. And then we decided the next day that, you know, our job, we had to pull together. And we asked our staff to come to the Sheraton Hotel and meet at the Sheraton, which was outside of the Trade Center zone down here that was shut down below 14th Street. We brought our entire staff together and put a plan together very quickly. Everyone came together to figure out who was hurt, who had died, where people were, who was out of work, and see what we could do to help. And we set up 40 computers and phone lines in the Sheraton. We camped out there for 5 days, and we called every member below 14th Street to find out what had happened to them, what had happened to their families. And at first we thought we may have lost many, many members at the Trade Center. We had 1,200 members who worked at the Trade Center. At first blush, when we started calling, we thought we had lost 300 members. But gradually we found people over the next couple of days. And in the end, 24 of our members had lost their lives, 12 security officers, several window cleaners and building cleaners. And you know, our goal was to do what we could as a union, our goal was to help our members in whatever way we could. There were those who were out of work, those who had been killed in the attack, those who were hurt, and those who were just confused, didn't know where to go. So 4 days later, we were able to open up the building here, and we opened it up as a center for everybody to come to help figure out what they should do. And we brought in a series of counselors from a group called Green Cross, who came in to just be in the building to help the staff in the building to deal with the trauma of the situation and to help our members. And they would stand in the lobby as our members would come in. Some couldn't enter the building because they had been so traumatized by the Trade Center. Some couldn't go into the elevators. Some just couldn't talk. And everybody would come in, and the counselors would stand around, just help them, those who were in stress. We had meetings every day with the members in our auditorium here. We tried to figure out what we could do to help them, where they could go for assistance. Whatever it was that there was a problem, the whole union came together to try and help people. Those first few days were very, very hard and traumatic, and I think that we were totally consumed by the plight of everybody in the city. But as bad as it was, the great thing was that everyone came together. Everyone came together to help each other. Everyone came together to help those families who had lost someone in the attack, and the union with the employers came together to make sure that every worker who was a member of the union and one of their employees was taken care of. So in the end, we were able to negotiate so that a contract with the employers that every person who lost their job would be on a list to get a job, and everybody eventually did get a job. The families were taken care of, those who lost someone, and those who were hurt were taken care of. We raised money from all other SEIU locals and employers to help those who were out of work for a long time. People were able to get extended health insurance. People were able to get extended unemployment. And I feel like we really came together as a union and were able to, show the best of us and of all our members in the city under those circumstances. I would say 5 weeks after the attack, we had a memorial service at St. Patrick's Cathedral, and we did it because we felt the need to. It was the right thing to do. We didn't know who would come, but we filled St. Patrick's Cathedral, and all the members who came, I think we all felt a need to be together, and that was our first chance to really be together and kind of mourn and grieve what had happened on the attack on September 11th.
Any thoughts going into this 10th year anniversary and sort of the morals around that, both sort of personally and as head of PJ, what this means?
I guess I would say I'm always aware that the anniversary is a difficult time, and in the 10 years since the attack, I'd say there's some years where it's more so and less so, but the 10th anniversary seems to have a real a special impact. For one, the Trade Center is being rebuilt, the Freedom Tower, and it's great to see it going up. The memorial is going to be opened up, but we have enough time that's gone by that there's a little bit more distance emotionally from it, but also it can be fresh again when you come to an anniversary. And I would say the city came together, the union came together in an incredible way after 9/11. Looking back at it, every day was hard and every day took an enormous amount of effort, but we did incredible work together to take care of people. What the 10th anniversary does is both give me some perspective on that and how difficult it was, but also remind me what we can do in those kind of, when we face those kind of challenges. And one of the things that I've been thinking about lately is how we are in very different circumstances now. We don't have an attack on the country. We don't have a war going on here at home. But we have very, very challenging times, very difficult times. People are, again, out of work for other reasons. We have an economy that's not in good shape, and working people under attack in a different way. And it makes me think that the energy, the unity, the togetherness that we had, the spirit we had, the thoughtfulness we had, we now have to bring to this new challenge today when people are out of work. It's different. It's not an attack. You know, it's not a war, but it is a difficult time for everyone. I think the one moment that I think of that sort of crystallized what happened on 9/11 for the Union and for all of us was the morning after the attack, when the officers of the Union got together and the staff was coming in, and we sat down together, the officers of the Union, and said, all with afraid, unsure of what was happening, but together we sat down, and just our presence together and our spirit of togetherness and being with each other, we felt like we were going to be able to get through this. And that moment was the beginning of us putting together the whole team of the Union to help each other. But that was the start, and it was an incredible moment where we were all alone and in our homes and afraid and needed to be together. And when we got together, it gave us the strength to move forward.